Oregon meet Kansas State. For the first time they meet, and they're sure to get acquainted real fast because speed is what the Ducks do. Wildcats have a senior on their side. He will beat you on the ground or through the air. Heisman finalist Collin Klein leads the Big 12 champs tonight in Glendale. There's a first time for everything.
And we welcome you to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Glendale, Arizona, University of Phoenix Stadium, the site. And tonight, Pac-12 and Big 12 tangle as number 4 and number 5 get together tonight. It's the Oregon Ducks and the Wildcats of Kansas State. Chip Kelley, rumors about his possible departure to the National Football League have swirled this entire week. Kenjon Barner wants to go out with a win for his Oregon career. And likewise, Collin Klein, the Heisman finalist. He's left his legacy behind already as a great player and a great person, but wants to go out with a BCS win. If you looked at the BCS standings back on November 11th, here's how it looked. Kansas State number 1, Oregon number 2, both undefeated. But then on that fateful night of November 17th, first in Waco, Texas, and then 2 time zones and 2,100 miles apart. Both teams went down. The unthinkable, number 1 and number 2 both lost. And so with that, they come in with an opportunity to maybe end up number 2. Brad Nessler with Todd Blackledge. Holly Rowe is going to join us in a second. And partner, when you come to bowl games like this and you get to late November and you want to play for the national championship, it'll be interesting to see how these 2 teams react tonight because they're not playing in South Florida on Monday.
No, but this is a huge game, and you've got 2 outstanding football teams, but I don't know that we've called a game in the last couple years where there's a more dramatic contrast in styles. And so the most intriguing thing about this game to me is which team can make it their game. You know, Oregon, they're going to try to speed things up. They like to score quickly. Kansas State, they can score as well, but they're more methodical. So which team can control the tempo? I think that'll go a long way in determining who wins the game tonight.
Let's circle back around to the Chip Kelley rumors. I've got to think teenagers, a young team, it's got to have some kind of effect. It's not like they haven't heard about this.
I don't think it will be a huge impact because of this. Oregon, for a long time, even before Chip Kelley became the head coach, has always had this mantra of win the day. They've lived by that, they've coached by that, they've played by that, and I think they will employ that tonight. I think they are locked in to the game tonight, the task at hand, and they'll worry about tomorrow. All
right, right now we're going to check in with a 3rd member of our team. Out on the field is Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, Brad, you talked about November 17th when both of these teams lost, and in those losses, both Baylor and Stanford provided pretty good blueprints that these 2 teams could use to beat each other tonight. For Oregon, they are uniquely built to copy what Baylor did, running plays with a fast tempo, getting Kansas State out of position. Kansas State coach Bill Snyder said he timed it. Baylor ran plays every 18 seconds, and as he has scouted Oregon, they're running plays about every 17 seconds and can go as fast as 9 seconds in between plays. So that is a concern tonight. Now, Stanford did a great job being very physical up front, pushing that Oregon offensive line back and establishing a new line of scrimmage. The defensive tackles that I spoke to from Kansas State said, we've been watching a ton of Stanford tape. We can be that physical, and we can mimic what Stanford did against Oregon.
What is the determining factor in the game tonight?
I think there are 3 things. I think the first thing is ball security. What team protects the ball the best? I think the second thing is, can Kansas State survive the wave of Oregon? They score early and they score in bunches. Can they survive the first couple of punches and still come back from that? The third thing, they've got to get the Ducks off the field defensively. They've got to get them in 3 and outs. Arthur Brown and company in that defense has to force the Ducks off the field of play.
I can listen to all the stats. They run this, they do that, they score this way. There's only 2 things that are important. Number 1, who's excited to be here? Now, don't get me wrong. Oregon's excited to be here, but they expected to either be in the championship game or the Rose Bowl. They're not even conference champions. Yeah, this is their 4th BCS. Whereas Kansas State's excited to be here. The second thing I look at, who has something to prove? Oregon had nothing to prove. Florida had nothing to prove against Louisville. The fact is Kansas State has something to prove, Oregon nothing. That's why I think that's going to determine the game.
Oregon still has a lot to prove. To win a BCS game, they didn't win a national championship. Hey, how about this? Kansas State was #1 in the nation for 1 week. They've got a lot to prove, but so do the Ducks. This is a team that's won 45 games under their head coach, Kelley, and guess what? They're out there. This is the Fiesta Bowl. This is the Fiesta Bowl. It's a big-time bowl game. They're excited to play.
It's the 4th time they've been in this bowl.
They're excited to play.
They're happy to be here. But Kansas State is absolutely excited. How many fans are here from Kansas State? How many are from Oregon?
There's more purple in the stands than green and yellow right now.
Because they're excited to be here.
It's a lot colder in Kansas right now.
They're not going to let them on the field. Say that if you were on the other side of this equation.
No, but that's why I'm here.
These guys will make their picks for the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl coming up in a matter of moments. The fans enjoying themselves here at the Taco Bell Fan Fest, trying to fill the brand new Variety Taco 12-pack. Mark May could probably help out there, except you'd probably crush all those tacos somewhere in the middle. I'm not sure who won that battle, Kansas State or Oregon. And while there might be more Kansas State fans here in the crowd, certainly Oregon is well represented. They've won a Tostitos Fiesta Bowl before, beat Colorado several years back after the 2001 season. But tonight, an opportunity for Kansas State to win 12 for the first time in program history. Perhaps Chip Kelly's last game. Who wins the game, Kansas State or Oregon?
I'm going to predict an upset. I think Kansas State wins the game. I think the fact that Chip Kelley is concentrating maybe on some NFL won't affect him. Does affect the assistants, does affect the players to a certain extent. And I think Kansas State has something to prove. Oregon does not. That is why I think Kansas State's going to win this game in enough time. Ladies and gentlemen, Kansas State's a much better football team than people give them credit for.
Well, I'm picking Oregon. There's no great mystery there. I think offensively they're too talented. They're too explosive. They have too much speed. You look at Kenjon Barner running the ball on the outside, D'Anthony Thomas at the quarterback position, Marcus Mariota. They're so explosive they can score as quick as a hiccup.
I think it's all about pace, guys. We're split in the opinion here, Kansas State and Oregon. Oregon wants to play fast, 82 plays per game. Kansas State only 64 plays per game. I think we'll know early who establishes their tempo.
But when they play against a great defense, they don't call plays as quickly when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. I call them in the hospital bed with a 2nd and 1 against somebody.
Hey, Dr. Lou, you know, I'm so impressed and proud of you that you're getting ready for the national championship game wearing an Alabama tie and pocket squares.
There's time for that. There's time for that right now. We've got to focus on the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, K-State and Oregon.
Welcome back to University of Phoenix Stadium here in Arizona. The Ducks of Oregon hoping to take flight tonight. Let's meet them, appearing in their 4th straight BCS game.
This is it. You know, this is my last hurrah in Oregon.
Kenjon Barner is gone.
With the great season that we've had, and obviously a win for us would be a great thing for us as a team.
Right on cue. Pick 6 Ducks.
Get another chance to go out and chase the vision that we have for this football program.
Great speed for the freshman, and he's about to make a house call.
Kansas State's going to put it all on the line, and so are we.
We want to go out the right way, and the only way to go out right is with the W.
Only one blemish on their record, that in overtime, in a loss to Stanford. 11-1 from the Pac-12. And here come the high-flying Ducks. From the Pac-12 to the Big 12, champions searching for their first BCS win, Kansas State.
There's a lot on the line, obviously, with the opportunity to win 12 games, something that no team has ever done here.
Klein loads, deep ball, got a man there, got him, touchdown.
At the end of the day, it's how bad do you really want it? Like, you know, do you want to make history? Do you want to win 12 games? Do you want to beat Oregon?
Look out! He can move!
And it's my last game, you know, playing here with, especially playing with these guys. You know, I'm gonna miss these dudes, but it's just about going and winning.
The pride of Manhattan, Kansas. The purple-clad Wildcats of Kansas State. Two teams that know how to put points on the board. Almost 51 a game for Oregon. Almost 41 a game for Kansas State. And if you look at their points per drive, their touchdowns per play, their yards per play, everything matches up, except Oregon usually runs a few more plays. And Todd, you know, sometimes when you look at the seasons they've had and you look at the brilliance of the 11 wins for both, but to approach this game, sometimes you have to look back at the lone loss that they had. And I think sometimes that'll dictate what's going to happen tonight.
Well, if you start with Oregon, if you're going to beat Oregon, you need to slow down their run. And that means you got to do two things. You have to tackle their fast guys well in space, and you must control the line of scrimmage with your defensive front. And that's what Stanford was able to do very effectively. They got great penetration. They not only controlled the line of scrimmage throughout the night, they moved the line of scrimmage backwards. And that's what you have to do. You have to disrupt the timing and the rhythm of the inside running game of Oregon, because all of their play action pass goes off of their run fakes. And Stanford did a great job. They didn't have to blitz. They didn't have to commit extra guys to the line of scrimmage. They affected it with their front five. They out-executed them up front. And that's what you have to do in order to beat the Oregon Ducks.
Well, the very same night we were in Waco, Texas to see what Baylor did to Kansas State.
If you want to beat Kansas State, you got to jump out ahead of them and get them out of their comfort zone. And that's what Baylor was able to do at home. Nick Florence came out very hot early. He threw 25 passes in the first half. 15 of them were thrown 5 yards or less. They hit quick. And then when they got Kansas State cheating up, they took a few chances and threw over the top of them and got on the scoreboard early. And then late in the game, the combination of their tempo and getting teams out of alignment, they went to their running game. But the key was their tempo and getting out in front early.
Kansas State doesn't want to fall behind earlier. That might be a long night. You know, they were missing a key ingredient, Kansas State, in that loss to Baylor. With more on that, let's check in with Holly.
Well, in that loss, it was the first time all season Kansas State had to play without free safety Ty Zimmerman. Why is that crucial? Well, his defensive coordinator, Tom Hayes, told me he is our quarterback of defense. He's a 3-year starter, and his database of experience allows him to diagnose quickly. He also gets everyone lined up. They said in that game they had almost 30 plays where they were out of alignment. They said having him back where he's able to call the defense, get people set, will be a huge factor tonight. He is scheduled to start. He had a lower left leg injury. We'll see if he's able to run at full speed against this very speedy Oregon team.
All right, Holly, let's see who's going to get the football first. We head down to the field and our referee, Ron Cherry.
Good evening, captains. Congratulations on having earned your way to the 2013 Fiesta Bowl. We have Kansas State, the home team. We've got Oregon, the visitors. I've got a coin that has the Fiesta Bowl on this side, and that will be heads. Okay? Who's going to call it for me? What do you call? Heads. Kansas State is calling heads. Here we go. I'm sorry, Oregon. It is heads. Oregon, you've won the toss. Oregon has won the toss and has elected to receive. You're going to defend this goal kicking that way. Okay. Congratulations.
So the captains at midfield, and Oregon has won the toss, elected to receive. Their head coach is with Holly.
Well, Coach, to honor your team, we'll ask you about your future after the game, but let's focus on your kids. It's been 40 days since you guys played. What have you done in your bowl prep to make sure that your timing, your speed, your rhythm is still there on offense?
This is our 4th trip to a BCS game. We're pretty consistent in our approach, and I think our kids really handled it well. Going in, you want to be in a game in January, but you're going to have some time off, so I thought they managed it really well.
Your quarterback, this is his first bowl experience. He has shown complete poise all season. What do you expect from him?
I expect the same thing he's done all year. He's just an awesome kid, and he's never been rattled by any stage, and I don't think it's going to happen again today.
Collin Klein has 194 rush attempts that leads Kansas State. How do you account for him defensively?
That's the big challenge for us. We got to gang tackle on defense and get a lot of guys. He's a big cat. You see him in person. We're going to make sure we get a lot of guys to the ball, run to the football, and try to get him down.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Hub.
I think that is something when you look at Collin Klein, you don't realize till you stand next to him how big he is. And how big has this guy been for the Kansas State program? Not once, but twice resurrecting it. And the Big 12 Coach of the Year in his 20th season, Bill Snyder.
Again, the intriguing thing about this game, Brad, is two outstanding teams in their own right, but two very, very different styles, in which team can make this game for 60 minutes their game. And right away, we'll see this explosive Oregon offense that will try to get things rolling right away.
It doesn't matter how long the Ducks have the ball. Time of possession, throw it out the window. On the other hand, Kansas State would like to keep the ball a lot and keep it out of those guys' hands.
The only thing about time of possession, it's great if you add points at the end of it. If you just possess the ball and come up empty, that doesn't work against these dudes.
The Anthony Thomas and Keenan Lowe back deep for Oregon. Anthony Cantele will tee it up. Number 4 against number 5. 2013 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl set to get underway.
One of the things you worry about in a bowl game, you don't do a lot of live tackling on special teams on that long layoff. You got to cover kicks and tackle these return guys.
Cantele has us underway. At the 6-yard line to Anthony Thomas. Thomas already got a crease. There he goes, and there he goes. He's gone. 94 yards on the opening play. Touchdown. Kansas State just found out what speed really means. That's a way to shock your opponent in 12 seconds. And now a big shift by the Ducks on their extra point attempt, and they're going to try to go for 2 and got it. Jordan. 8-0 Oregon.
Well, the kick was perfect. I thought Anthony Thomas was actually going to step out of bounds. It was put right on the sideline, but you got to cover with discipline and get off blocks. And Kansas State was not able to do that. Guys were stuck on blocks, and Anthony Thomas, you just can't give him room. You've got to get bodies on him quickly because you're not going to be able to catch him if he gets in the open field.
And then why not go for 2 12 seconds into the game? Jordan on a pitch out. 8-0. Just like that.
There's your time of possession right there, huh?
He'll get a chance on a bounce at about the 6-yard line. He got outside. Lockett. Nice return. Not a touchdown, but 27 yards out to the 32-yard line. So we said that Kansas State didn't want to get behind early. Well, they're behind early, but here comes a guy that has been quite a leader for this program.
I I anticipate seeing a very fresh Collin Klein. When we saw him in Waco, he and the rest of their team looked a little bit worn down. He looked better after a week off when we saw him against Texas. Now he's had a month off. His body is healed up, and I expect to see him carry the football at least 20 times tonight.
First down from the 32. 3 wideouts. And Hubert with Klein in the shotgun. He'll throw on first down. Has it batted down at the line of scrimmage by Taylor Hart. It'll be second down and 10 as we take a look at our impact players. For Kansas State, Chris Harper's become their #1 receiver. He's a former Oregon Duck. I'm sure there's a lot of emotions flying around with him tonight. Arthur Brown, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, the middle linebacker. And Ty Zimmerman, Holly already talked about it. The fact that he wasn't in there against Baylor didn't help their cause too much, and he's back tonight. Here comes a blitz. This time the throw is to Harper, and he's got about 8 of it. It's going to be third down and short.
One of the things that Kansas State is really going to have to do a good job of is getting the hands down of these defensive ends. Taylor Hart, who knocked down the first down play, is 6'6". Deion Jordan, number 96, is even taller at 6'7". Those offensive tackles are going to have to hit into those guys, get their arms down to open up lanes for those quick throws.
Third down and 2. This is usually Collin Klein time to run the football. Wildcats 50% on their third down conversions this year. They'll throw, and first down toss to Lockett across midfield. And Kansas State with a big play there.
Well, that was going to be a run, probably a quarterback run, and a change at the line of scrimmage. Too many bodies inside. A nice check at the line of scrimmage by Collin Klein. Single coverage outside, and you get the first down and move the sticks.
Nice throw and catch to the 48. Lockett wasn't very effective in that one loss. He was injured, but he came back against Texas and made an impact in that game. Already has here tonight.
It is option. They want to make Oregon defend the option and test their discipline.
Here it comes. And the pitch to Hubert. Got a nice block and cut it up to the 41-yard line.
When I talked to Collin Klein, he said, you know, Oregon hasn't seen some of the stuff we do. They haven't seen teams that run option where you have to really be disciplined with the back, with the quarterback, with the pitch man. And they're going to test this Oregon defense. Oregon likes to shift, move, get a lot of different looks on their defense, but you have to be sound against the option.
This is where Kansas State likes to be. Second down and short. At the 40-yard line. Trying to answer the 94-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. And a close, but a yard shy. It'll be third down and 1. Again, an overloaded shotgun with Klein, Hubert, and Braden Wilson, the fullback. And here's Collin Klein dropping back to throw again on third down. And overshot Travis Tannehill. It's fourth down and 1.
Well, I think they thought they might catch Oregon.
They only went on fourth down 7 times this year, but they converted 5. Fourth and 1 here on their opening drive.
Follow number 37, the fullback. Usually they like to run right behind him.
That's where Collin will go. Tries to bounce it outside, and the Ducks equal to the task. They hold and take over on downs. So Kansas State goes on fourth and short. Oregon's defense equal to the task, and they'll give it back to their high-powered offense for the first time when we return.
Kiko Alonso, the inside linebacker, is who makes this play. Watch as he times it. He's going to actually knock the center and the fullback out of the play with his penetration. Collin Klein had nowhere to go with the football because Alonso disrupted 2 blocks, stopped the timing of the play, and they got the fourth down stop. Nick Aliotti said to us, he may be the best inside linebacker in all of college football, and that was a heck of a play right there.
And so the offense for the first time tonight, already with an 8-point cushion to work with. Marcus Mariota at quarterback, set to throw on first down, and overshot his intended receiver, DeAnthony Thomas. You've really been impressed with this kid.
Yeah. Well, he's got all the physical tools. I mean, he can really throw the football. He's fast. He's a talented runner. But the thing I like the best about him is his poise. I mean, he has been unflappable all season long as a redshirt freshman.
Byron Marshall in there in the backfield with him. On second down, gives it off to Marshall. And the freshman got about 2. Meshach Williams closed the door. Barner going to empty out of that backfield. Mariota flushed out of the pocket. He's an excellent runner too, and he got the first down at the 49-yard line. Not only a good runner, he's fast.
He's fast, and he's got a good feel. He knows when he has to take off. He sees a little crease. Coming into the game, averaging over 9 yards per scramble. That one effective for the first down.
And here they go with a no huddle. Play action. The throw is complete to the 45, the Keenan Lowe.
Some kind of a penalty against Oregon. It's going to back it up.
To be honest with you, I didn't see the flag. Barner has yet to carry. Still hasn't. Mariota keeps it and pays the price, and Meshach Williams a loss of 4. That's the second big play he's made.
Beautifully played by Meshach. I mean, he stayed right with proper leverage. Don't let him get outside. Watch him read it, maintain leverage, and then make a sure tackle. I mean, that is excellent work by the defensive end.
And now you've got the Ducks backed up to second down and 20.
Oregon has always been a big screen team on long yardage situations with these quick backs.
Barner's first touch, and he's not going to get anything either. Lost another yard, maybe 2.
I think you have to rush the passer under control here. Mariota's already got you once with a scramble. There's
Flags
another move.
out again.
False start. Offense. 115. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's a call.
Sampling of green and gold here too, but a lot of purple.
Mariota to throw. Fires far side. Got a man. Complete at midfield. Back to basically the original line of scrimmage to D'Anthony Thomas.
Unlike Bill Snyder, Chip Kelley does like to go for it on 4th down, but 4th and 10, he's going to play the percentages here and hope that his punter can pin Kansas State deep.
High kick. Thompson's going to have to take this one. I thought he was going to fair catch, and he didn't. Didn't get much of a return out of it. Gutsy punt return of 3 yards. Lockett in motion on first down. It'll be Hubert, and he found a crease. Tough run, 8 yards for the junior out of Waco. He's in the pistol right now behind Klein on second down and 2. From the 19. He'll get it again. And a little bit short, I think. All of Kansas State's third downs have been 3rd and 2 or short. This one's less than a yard. It'll be the second man through, and he's got it. Hubert picked up a couple. Tyson Coleman made the stop as we check in with Holly.
Well, Kansas State offensive coordinator Dana Dimmel told me that he felt they made a mistake against Baylor when they got down early. They abandoned their running game a little bit, threw the ball too much. He said that was not our plan. We have to be who we are tonight. Even if we get down early, expect us to stay with our identity and run the ball. We're seeing that on this drive.
Interesting substitution. The first possession or first part of this possession, 3 defensive linemen, now 5 defensive linemen in for Oregon to offset this Kansas State run game.
Klein under center will give it off. Again, Hubert trying to bounce it outside. Did for maybe a yard, but that's about it. Terrence Mitchell, the cornerback on that side, made the play. 3 wideouts out there for Collin Klein. And he will throw. And throws it a little bit behind Tremaine Thompson. Incomplete.
I talked about 5 defensive linemen in. Here's a little wrinkle to this. This guy standing up right here like a linebacker is a defensive lineman. He's listed as the starting nose tackle, Ricky Himuli, and he's going to rush right over the center. Just a little different wrinkle from Nick Aliotti to try to create some confusion for Collin Klein.
Nothing like looking over there at what you think the middle linebacker, and he's 305 pounds, and he's coming. 3rd down and 9. So this is their first 3rd and long situation. Klein in trouble, and down he goes. Michael Clay with a sack, the first of the night.
Well, the left tackle got hung up. He got hung up inside and didn't peel back for Michael Clay, and Clay had an untouched path to the quarterback. Back
at his own 40, waiting on this one. He won't have to wait at the 40. High but short. And he's going to take it in midair. Seen a couple of gutsy punt returns tonight that haven't really netted that much.
Chip Kelley had his hands on his head. He did not like that decision, but it worked out okay. Wouldn't be surprised to see Chip take a shot down the field. The guys to go to here, their big play guy is Josh Huff right here. The matchup problem is the tight end, Colt Lyerla.
The throw is well behind the intended receiver. I'm not sure where that one was heading. This time Mariota gives off to DeAnthony Thomas on the sweep, and then again the speed to get the first down on the far side.
Nice job securing the edge this time. And DeAnthony Thomas picks up a nice block down the field. Keon Love, number 7, got a nice block. Also Daryl Hawkins, number 16. Wide receivers blocking on the perimeter for their back.
And now Kenjon Barner back in there. Play action. Mariota does take a shot deep. And some contacts, but incidental, apparently incomplete. Intended for Josh Huff. So
I think if they want to go to him, they might be better off putting him in the slot and working against one of the interior defenders, because again, these corners are pretty salty.
Barner this time gets the carry. Kansas State stands him up though after a pickup of about 3, and it's Arthur Brown, the judge, the captain of the defense, the middle linebacker, and one of the best linebackers in college football.
Arthur Brown, a transfer from the University of Miami. Veteran, experienced, mature guys.
3rd down and 7, empty backfield. Mariota looked to the right and now takes off up the middle, and he's got another first down.
I think that was a design quarterback run. He showed fake. He gave a little shoulder and ball fake to the, but this is a design run, and you see Kyle Long, number 74, the left guard, released and was a lead blocker. That shows for sure that it was a design quarterback keep.
So on 3rd and 7, you got 9, and a first down at the 28. And now it's Barner on the outside. Kenjon, Barner, Chapman, and Brown put him down. Came into the game 1,624 yards. Sensational season, including that special one against USC. 321 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. Those are crazy numbers. 2nd and 5. Mariota, throwback screen to DeAnthony Thomas. And Thomas follows his blockers all the way. Touchdown. "23 yards, his 2nd score of the night.
Now this is pretty evident that DeAnthony Thomas likes playing in BCS Bowl games, because last year in the Rose Bowl, he had a coming out party, and he is having one so far tonight.
The previous play is under further review. Timeout on the field.
So they're taking another look at this one.
You can't give him that much space. Beautiful job by the center getting down in front of there. Haranis Grasu, number 55. Very active and mobile center, was the guy leading the play. Take a look at this, see if he was down before the ball crossed. I don't think so.
That'd be hard to overturn, I would think. His legs are still in the air. His elbow is going to come down, but I think by that time the ball is crossing the plane. Sure looks like it. But we'll let Ted Jackson, our replay official, straighten it out. There's about the best, seems like the best look. About the time his wrist is hitting, it looks like he's breaking the plane with his right hand.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Extra point, up and good by Maldonado. Kind of a strange score because of the 2-point conversion on the opening score of the ball game. For the 2nd time, number 6 has a big impact and gets 6. 2nd score for DeAnthony Thomas, so the Ducks out in front, 15-0. Tyler Lockett awaits the kickoff. And he'll run up on this one at the 9-yard line. Lockett got it to the outside and across the 40. Nice run back.
Well, Brad, I mentioned that DeAnthony Thomas must like playing in BCS games. Last year in the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin, 315 yards of total offense, 2 long touchdown runs. One of them, this one here, 91 yards. Also had one for 64 yards. We've already seen him return a kick, the opening kick for a touchdown in this ball game. He had 125 yards worth of kick returns in the game against Wisconsin last year. So obviously, number 6 likes the big stage.
And if you've never seen him play in person, he's faster than he is when you watch him on film or you watch him on TV. And this is the first time these two schools have ever played each other in their history. So Kansas State is getting a first-hand look at the kind of speed that he has. Got a penalty marker down.
Well, I think, yeah, delay of game.
Number 7 on the offense.
Just can't have that happen when you just had a nice kickoff return.
Yeah. Kansas State, what they do a lot is they get to the line of scrimmage, they have a play called, and then they try to look to the line, to the sideline, to change the play. Nick Alioti's a veteran defensive coordinator. He's kind of letting them get set up, and then he's switching his people and his movement as well. And that time they got caught trying to be too cute.
Kansas State, one of the least penalized teams in the country. They had a few penalty problems against Baylor, too, the night they lost. And they're scrambling around a little bit here on 1st and 15. They did get this play off. Klein scanning the field. Throws back near side. Oh, man. Almost got Lockett killed on that one.
Yeah. And he was late getting the ball to Lockett because Lockett was open as a safety valve early in the play. But by the time Collin was able to pick him up, see, he gets the ball right now. He maybe squirts loose, but the ball was late getting to him. And that was a nice play by the corner. Olomu knocking it out.
Ifo Ekpre Olomo. And he's an impact guy. Forced 6 fumbles this year and had 4 interceptions. And as you saw there, he can hit you as well. 2nd and 15. Pressure coming off the corner, and Collin Klein will tuck this one away and get what he can, which is almost back to the original line of scrimmage. State 2 out of 4 on their 3rd down conversions, but they were short 3rd downs. This one's 3rd and long. Klein going to go deep down the sideline, and his wide receiver Harper got tangled up with Mitchell.
Pass interference. Defense, number 27. 15 yards, automatic, 1st down.
Harper, a former Oregon Duck.
Yep.
Transferred to Kansas State, wanted to play quarterback. Bill Snyder said, I calmly talked him out of that.
Yeah. Said he let him make the decision, but he was obviously pretty persuasive of where he'd have the best chance to play.
Well, he's become a good receiver. Big body. Angelo Pease coming back looking for a block from Collin Klein and got it. And Pease is all the way to the 31 before he's roughed out of bounds. A pickup of 13.
It's one of those plays that if the tackle is made on the Kansas State sideline, maybe it's a penalty, but because it was made on the Oregon sideline, there was no play penalty called. I think we have a lineman down also for Kansas State.
Here's the hit.
Eric Dargan, the safety, number 4, ran him out of bounds and then finished him off well out of bounds.
It's Tavon Rooks, the tackle, who's down as we see him get tangled up and rolled up on. Going off with a little bit of help, the big fella. Blitz coming off the corner. And another good run inside by Pease. And he's got about 13 more.
See, Oregon guessed that this was going to be an outside option, so they loaded up out here. They were going to bring pressure, but Pease is going to cut this in smartly inside, and Oregon kind of ran themselves out of the play. They left a void because they rushed from the outside expecting a perimeter option, and Pease got inside for a nice game.
So Kansas State in the red zone for the first time tonight. They switch Wilson now, the fullback, to the left side, and they're going to bring that option Todd talked about. The pitch to Pease, puts his head down, got about 3 to the 15. They'll keep bringing Mr. Pease. This time he weaves his way for about 3 more. And in that pistol set, Klein comes up, lets his lineman know, and now his tailback know as well. What's coming? 3rd and 3. He will do it himself or try, and he's got the first down. First and goal, Kansas State. But right now it's an 8-play drive that's got the Big 12 champions knocking on the door to open the second quarter. First quarter belongs to Oregon and DeAnthony Thomas, 15-0. Klein has scored 77 of their 104 offensive touchdowns the last 2 years. It was his wife Shaylin looking on. First and goal. Looked like maybe Oregon jumped into the neutral zone.
Yeah, I think so.
Ricky Haimuli, I think, got a head start.
Defense number 90. Half distance to the goal. Still first down.
Pease is in the backfield with Klein, but this is usually Collin time down near the goal line. He's hitting the backfield and loss of a couple. Dion Jordan with the first hit, and they keep Alonzo cleaned up.
Well, his penetration, and again, it was Alonzo's penetration. Watch number 47 bust through there and disrupt the timing. Jordan came from the outside, Alonzo came from the inside, and they blew up the play.
Nick Alioni told us yesterday, if somebody's going to say something on this defense, it's Dion Jordan. He did it with his play on that particular snap. And it backs it up to the 5 where it's second and goal. The option left. Klein keeps it again and again goes down. A loss of 1. Taylor Hart. And they're back where they originally were at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, 2 bad plays in a row after a beautiful drive. Put him in great situation to get a touchdown. Now they're in a tough spot, third down, because now Oregon will be expecting play pass, and I would imagine that they will put extra coverage on Chris Harper on this play.
Chris Harper's to the top of your screen. Third down and goal, Kansas State at the Duck 6. Klein looking right, running now, heading to the corner in the pylon. Touchdown. Six yards for the score, his 23rd rushing touchdown of the year.
That's great awareness by Collin Klein. Not very good discipline on the pass rush by Oregon, because you got to be aware of his ability to run.
Run across the goal line with the ball in possession. Touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Here's another look.
They rush up the field, they get caught inside, and Collin Klein very smartly sees green grass to the left. Yeah, he got the ball inside the pylon, no question. Beautiful run, and the toughness and strength at the end of the play to get the touchdown.
Got his whole body inside. That nice body lean and that 230 pounds.
Now, how about him running on third down? He got the conversion to end the first quarter.
Yep.
And then he comes down here on a critical third down. And
pass for 10.
Touchdown.
So Kansas State right back in the football game early in the second quarter. Capping off a 58-yard drive in 10 plays. The Heisman finalist Collin Klein, 6 yards for the score. And his wife Shaylin in the stand saying, "My hubby is in." Touchdown. Short kick to the 16 to Keon Lowe, and he's cut down at the 25.
Well, they pooch kicked away from DeAnthony Thomas. Pretty smart decision. Arthur Brown coming into the game for Kansas State, their leading tackler, and Oregon's done a pretty good job of moving him away from the action. Mariota moves him with his eyes in formation and then is going to run away from Arthur Brown for a nice pickup and a first down. And then on another play, they move him by formation. Kenjon Barner leaves the backfield. Arthur Brown's affected, and they throw the touchdown to DeAnthony Thomas.
And now Kansas State stops Kenjon Barner after only a yard. Meshach Williams has had a good game here in the first half. Mariota comes up, grabs his tight end. Lyerland moves him to the other side on second down and 9. Barner trying to pop it outside. They're not going to let him, and it's Meshach Williams again.
The defensive tackles and the defensive ends for Kansas State have played a heck of a ball game so far.
The Anthony Thomas is in a slot to the left. You always have to worry about him, especially with the game he's had so far tonight. 3rd and 9. Long ball sideline, and Barner just
I think he lost it.
He lost it in the lights or
sight
something.
of the ball.
Watch his reaction or lack thereof. It went right where his hands could have been almost.
Goodness.
Wow.
He looked up and never found the ball. And he had Jarrell Childs beat. No question.
Stop for Kansas State. Nice punt. Jermaine Thompson takes it and immediately gets wrapped up by Crayola. Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. My partner, not only in the program for being part of the fine ESPN broadcast team, but an action shot in there as well. You played 2 of these back in the day.
Back. 1980 and 1981. Both wins, by the way.
There you go. First down, Kansas State at its own 33-yard line.
The last time they had the ball, they had it for 10 plays, 5.5 minutes.
Here it's play action, and it's going to be Collin Klein throwing over John Hubert's head as we check in with Holly.
Kansas State doesn't release injury information, but from what I have observed, right tackle Tavon Rooks is unlikely to return. They've examined his right leg and knee, and after they told him the diagnosis, he's been sitting on the bench. Teammates have been coming over, kind of passing condolences, patting him on the head. His return does not appear to be imminent. But Cody Whitehair, his replacement, redshirt freshman, but he has some starts in this position this year and has played extensively at right tackle.
Cody in there next to Tannehill, the tight end, on the right side on 2nd down and 10. Klein throws crossing route. Tyler Lockett. Lockett broke a tackle. Got a first down. Mariota, the redshirt freshman on the other side, 70% completions on the year. First down. Klein maybe will throw again. Not now. It's in his left hand, and he's going for what he can on the sideline. He's run out of bounds on the Kansas State sideline, and still no flag, and the fans let the officials know that they're not crazy about that.
What a beautiful block by Hubert. Collin Klein, when he made the decision to go, Hubert picks up the block, and I think for the second time, it's not the initial contact, it's taking him down at the end of the play.
I think you saw Coach Schneider pointing to the head linesman. Hey, he was 4 yards out of bounds when they took him to the ground.
Well, he knows his quarterback takes enough legal hits during the course of the game. He doesn't need to take an extra one on the sideline.
2nd down and 4. Play action. He throws one out, and a one-handed catch by Tannehill, the tight end, good for the first down.
And don't you feel the Kansas State offense settling into the game a little bit better?
Yep.
They're getting a little bit more confidence, a little bit more productivity. Again, they score almost as efficiently this season as Oregon. It just takes them a little bit longer to do it. And so consequently, they don't score as many points per game, but from an efficiency standpoint, percentage of touchdowns of offensive drives, almost identical.
They've got another first down at the 42. In a pistol, John Hubert behind Collin Klein. Play in the backfield.
Again, this is Himuli, who's a nose tackle lined up as a linebacker.
And Wildcats going to take a timeout. They were running out of time and getting back to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Collin Klein from Loveland, Colorado, north of Denver. Actually played wide receiver 2 years ago, 2009, including a touchdown catch. In July, he married Shaylin Spaney, former Kansas State basketball player and the daughter of former Kansas State linebacker and former Kansas City Chief with Todd, Gary Spaney. Plays the piano, the violin, and the mandolin. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know what a mandolin was. Pretty talented kid, and just a heck of a kid to be around.
Yeah, he really is, and he has been a dynamic leader for Bill Snyder's football team. That's his impact as much as anything.
First down here at the 42-yard line with 10 minutes remaining in the first half.
5 defensive linemen. You got the extra guy standing up like a linebacker.
Quick throw out to Harper. And his power gets him 4 or 5 yards after the catch. Klein, plenty of time, throws a crossing route to Harper again. Harper Puts his head down, and did he get it?
I think he did.
Looked like he might have. Trying to even this game up here in the second quarter. Slip, and Hubert only got about a yard. We talked about Chris Harper being a former Oregon Duck player. In 2008, he was the first player in 8 years in Oregon program history to run, catch, and pass for a touchdown in the same season. And then he converted after you see that throw probably right there from quarterback to wide receiver. And against UCLA, full-time duty at wideout at that point before transferring to Kansas State. He's become a very good player. Big body, kind of a hard guy to bring down. Second down and 9.
Hard guy to bring down and a hard guy to get around on quick throws.
Just got the playoff. Klein, plenty of time. Pump fakes, comes back to the other side, complete to Hubert, and he's going to be 3 yards shy of the first down.
Look at Chip Kelley just walking down the sideline, and you can just tell, you know, this tempo that Kansas State is starting to develop and starting to establish. This is not what he likes. He likes to have the ball and be able to go fast. Collin Klein's hit his last 5 passes. If he hits another one here and they can extend the drive, that's more time on the sideline for the Duck offense.
Another third down and 3. Ducks show blitz. They slip trying to do it, and the throw's complete to Harper. Harper, and again, just like we talked about, hard to bring down. First and goal, Wildcats. Pickup of 21.
The quick throw against the blitz. The big body just shield the defender. Perfect timing by Collin Klein, and another first down. Good call, good execution. Good job picking up the blitz.
Nemechek, the extra tight end in there, is an extra blocker. Here comes Hubert. Just a yard, though. And Collin Klein will try to do it himself. Barely got a yard. Whoop. Look out. Almost a forearm thrown by Alonzo at the end of that play.
Well, they just didn't get enough push on the left side. And again, that was Nick Pitts, who was in there, number 50, who got driven back and kind of disrupted the flow and the timing of the play. And that could have been a helmet to helmet, not just a forearm.
Yeah, well, here comes the forearm. I didn't see the helmet to helmet the first time.
That's 2 hits that both could have been called on Kiko Alonso.
Remington is the player that was down.
And Harper looks like single coverage up top. That might be what Collin Klein's checking to right now.
It's the short side of the field from that spot. Option pitch to Hubert, going nowhere. They lost yardage. Cantele 18 out of 21 on the year. This should be a chip shot from the left hash. A 25-yard field goal attempt. Cantele tucks it inside the left upright with 5:21 remaining in the half. 1 possession game now. Oregon by 5. Fiesta's Fiesta Bowl, where Kansas State has kept the ball away from the high-powered Oregon offense and has cut the lead down to 15-10. Cantele, short kick, taken at the 9 by Keenan Lowe. And Lowe got outside as well. Out across the 40. Another big kick return for the Ducks.
Well, so far tonight, Kansas State's defense has done what you have to do against Oregon's run offense. That's disrupt the line of scrimmage, change the line of scrimmage, and tackle the ball carriers before they get a chance to get upfield with their speed. And they've done that. So far, Oregon has only run 16 plays in the first half. This is a team coming in averaging over 80 a game. But I did say so far. There's still 5 minutes left in the first half.
You got that shot from the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam on that last play. And Todd's talking about total plays. And we talk about time of possessions. Meshach Williams, another stop there. Right now, Kansas State, 138 total yards. There's a 35-16 in plays. 18 minutes to 6:47 in time of possession. So right now, time of possession does mean something to Kansas State anyway. Mariota running out of time and has to flip this one to the sideline. He will throw quickly, but again, great hit put on from the secondary. Justin Tuggle actually from the linebacker position on Josh to fair catch the football. And this is a fake. And it's an option. And the pitch to the punter, and he's not going to get there. Kansas State comes up with a big play on special teams.
When you defend the option, you got to account for the quarterback, and you got to account for the pitch man. Well, this wasn't your normal option, but Kansas State defended it perfectly. Watch him defend Clay. He's the quarterback. Now watch him defend the punter, the pitch man. Well short. Perfect disciplined defense by the Kansas State special teams.
One of the best special team units in the country in almost all phases, and proving it right there again. They scored 10 unanswered points, and they've got it at midfield. Collin Klein going to throw to his safety valve out of the backfield. Pease, and he's got another first down.
Great decision because they went for a deep play off of play action after the huge play by the special teams, but Harper was not open.
2 tight ends and a fullback in there. And on the option, it's Pease, and he wants to throw. Hit, and now does go deep. Man out there. Oh, at the goal line, broken up. Brian Jackson got there in time.
Because Pease had to double clutch that and reset, that enabled Brian Jackson to come from beaten to make the play. If Pease is able to throw this on time initially, this is probably a touchdown because Harper ran by his man, but Jackson came from the inside and knocked the ball away.
I got to say, though, Pease, he spun that baby pretty well, didn't he?
He sure did.
2nd and 10. Hubert back in with Collin Klein in the K-State backfield. Klein wanted to throw. Now scrambles around and throws this one out of bounds. They've done well on 3rd down so far in this half. Klein crossing route again to Harper. Stiff arm and a first down after it.
See, that's the strength of Harper. You know, a smaller receiver might get tackled there short of the first down, but because of the size and strength of Harper, he's able to stiff arm Terrence Mitchell and pick up the first down.
234-pounder, and watch this stiff arm coming up and says, nope, not on this play. And a first down at the 27. He got 11 on 3rd and 10. Hubert off the left side, slipped a little bit, but Derek Malone made sure he wasn't going too far. There's your guy.
Yeah.
Modern family.
Eric Stone Street, had a chance to meet him before the game. Man. What a pleasant guy. He and Ty Burrell.
They were both everything we'd hoped for, having met him, and enjoyed talking to him before the game. Collin Klein, zone read. That one didn't look right from the get-go. There's Ty Burrell. He said, I'm the only guy in my family, and my entire family went to Oregon, but I'm the only guy that went twice and still didn't graduate. That's what he told me before the game. Oh, man, the spots those guys put together for us. They shot promos for us this year, and they are hilarious.
Here we are. Turned out just the way we wanted. K-State and Oregon playing for the national championship.
No, you're not.
Shut up.
You know what? There's no shame for us. We lost to teams quarterbacked by RG3 and Andrew Luck.
Last year.
Shut up!
Shut up!
Oh, man. Delightful guys to be around. We thank them for their help with those hilarious spots we've had going on this week. 3rd down 6.
Well, last time it was a crossing route to Harper. He's an outside receiver this time.
Tannehill, the tight end, is in the slot of the 3 to the top. And here's the slant the other way. And it is Harper, but forward progress. Let's see where they're going to spot him. They were stopped once in the first quarter. Maybe just trying to draw them off sides this time. But Klein telling Pease, calm down, we got this. Oops, and now there's motion on the left side. It's a false start, and Kansas State tricked themselves.
False start. 78 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And now he says, let's go kick.
It's hard for those big guys be in that stance and listen to that hard count. But clearly, Collin Klein was just trying to draw the penalty, and then they were going to call timeout right before the clock went out.
So Cantele hit a 25-yarder earlier, and now he's going to try from 40. 42 is his season long this year. Trying to make it a 2-point game. Anthony Cantele, kick on the way, and it's wide left. And there's what we talked about. They've had some problems with longer kicks this year.
The Oregon defense in the first half this season, they gave up 24 points to USC, but against everybody else, they've averaged only 7.5 points per game in the first half. 10 on the board so far for Kansas State, but it could have been more. Pretty good defense there after the sudden change, after the missed attempt at the fake field goal or the fake punt. Nice job.
That false start didn't help. No. That was a 5-yard longer kick.
Yep.
A minute to go. It's about how long it takes Oregon to score usually. Here's the tight end, and he's got it out across the 45-yard line before a swarm of purple hits him.
A little surprised they haven't tried to go to him more. He's a real mismatch. A big physical tight end, 6'5", 250, and can really run.
First down for Oregon since there was 3:46 remaining in the first quarter. That's how long Kansas State's kept it out of their hands. But here's Barner now, down to the 41.
The last time they had the ball, they had 5 minutes, and they went 3 and out. Now they have 50 seconds, and they got something going.
First down at the 41-yard line. Pump fake. Mariota going the other way now. Still scanning the field. And he'll just dump it to the Kansas State side.
Holly, in her report before the game, talked about the return of Ty Zimmerman, who we did not see in the game against Baylor or Texas. And you can tell what a difference he makes. His presence, his leadership, his ability to get everybody lined up in this defense, along with Arthur Brown at the middle linebacker position.
And, of course, he made the play on the fake punt as well with a tackle. Down the middle. And again, Lyle, the tight end, 17 more yards.
Oregon still has 2 timeouts. Clock stops while they move the chains.
They get the snap in a hurry. Mariota scanning the field. Going to go back to the sideline. Got Barner on the run, and he'll score. Touchdown, Oregon. Just like that. So that's a 24th touchdown in less than a minute this year. Talk about regaining momentum before halftime. Five plays, 77 yards in 46 seconds.
Talked all night so far about the poise of Marcus Mariota. He's had to leave the pocket 2 or 3 times and just throw the ball away because of coverage. This time he leaves, but he finds Barner out open, and he's able to get it in the football and a touchdown, a dagger-type touchdown right before the half.
Todd, that's a 10-point swing in 46 seconds. Missed field goal, touchdown. Major difference for the Duck and the push-ups he has to do. And now the Oregon faithful really making some noise. They hadn't had much to cheer about since the Anthony Thomas 2 quick touchdowns in the first quarter. And now Kenjon Barner's got his offense's attention on that sideline. There's the line drive taken by one of the up men, but Tannehill pitches it back to Thompson. And Tremaine Thompson, pretty good looking play. Collin Klein rolls that way. He's going to throw it as far as he can here in the second. There it goes. And on the other end, it is intercepted at the 11-yard line by Eric Dargan. So Kansas State took a shot, but Oregon got their shot in the final 45 seconds. and they lead.
Well, Coach Kelley, when your team had all the time in the world, you had some 3 and outs, but when you had to go fast, you were so effective. What's the reason behind that?
I got to call a faster game. You know, we started the game real well, and we finished the game real well. We weren't great in the middle, but that's on me.
I saw Kenjon Barner just come over and say something to you. What was he saying?
That we love each other.
Coach, your defense, you've stacked the box of 5 defensive linemen at times against the run, but what do you have to do better against the pass?
We just got, you know, they're taking their shots, and they know what they're doing. When we put that many guys in the box, they're going to throw it, and we just got to tackle. They're throwing the ball down. We just got to tackle those guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, at halftime, Oregon in front 22-10. We'll have first half reaction from Reese and the guys, a report from the BCS National Championship game, and a lot more on the Buick Halftime Report. It's coming up next.
NBA doubleheader on Friday. We'll start with the Bulls and Heat at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and then squaring off in L.A. Blake Griffin and the Clippers taking on the Lakers. That's at 10:30 Eastern time. You can also catch it on Watch ESPN. A few weeks ago, Tostitos gathered some military veterans to play a simple game of football to benefit charity. A few thousand other people were told that there was a free concert. None of them could have guessed what would happen next.
3, 2, 1. Folks, the stage is set for what promises to be a memorable evening here in Southern California.
Everyone off. We're heading in to get your team t-shirts. Cue the coaches. In 3, 2, 1.
Say hello to Bobby Bowden and Urban Meyer.
Good to see you, son. I heard you guys need a quarterback.
So proud to have you guys back home.
I tell you what, you guys are our heroes.
Stand by on stage. Cue Eric Stone Street.
Who are you?
Owen.
Owen.
Yeah.
How do I know you?
Yeah. I'm on your team.
Touchdown, Liberty!
Wow.
Rumbling your heart.
Slips a tackle.
Touchdown!
Nice play there.
Grab.
Here come the moves. I like it.
9 seconds.
The play. Zozo throwing left. Nowhere to go. Last second. And that ball is intercepted. Owen Wilson preserves the victory for Team Freedom.
It's probably one of the most incredible experiences I will ever have.
What a cool story. Our salute to the veterans as well. Collin Klein and the Wildcats coming back. Can they rally against the Ducks? Second half's coming.
Kansas State controlled the tempo of the game for 29 minutes, but in the last minute, Marcus Mariota hit his tight end Colt Lyerla 2 times. Only 2 catches Lyerla had in the first half, but they were for 40 yards. Got him into scoring range as the clock was running down, and then Mariota had to leave the pocket, kept his eyes downfield, and found Kenjon Barner. And just like that, right before the half, a huge 10-point swing. And Oregon kind of reasserted itself there at the end of the first half.
You know, partner, a couple things you want to do. When you get in the red zone against Oregon, you want to score.
Yeah.
3 times for Kansas State. They got a field goal, a touchdown, and a missed field goal, and also a false start penalty that made that field goal longer.
Right.
And then you better get back on defense, kind of like in basketball.
You got to get back. You got to play for the whole 30 minutes.
Right.
You know, and they played for 29 and kind of let up in that last minute, and that really cost them. But they get the ball to start the third quarter and have a chance to fight right back into it.
And running up on it at the 9 is Lockett. Tyler Lockett got to the outside. Nice little shake at the 35 and out of bounds at the 36.
Well, I asked Kansas State coach Bill Snyder what went wrong when Oregon went to that fast tempo to end the half. And he said, well, for one thing, we gave up the exact same play twice, a little tight end delay right down the middle. We let him run free. And then when they started to scramble, we got out of coverage. He said, we've got to be more disciplined even when they pick up the tempo. And then I asked him about those 5 defensive linemen in the box, how that's affecting their run game. He said it's not something we weren't expecting. They've done it before. We've got to do a better job staying on blocks and not dance in the backfield.
Thanks, Hallie. You see what Kansas State has done to open drives of the third quarter. They come up ready to throw. Klein, near side, wide open is Tremaine Thompson, and out of bounds with a first down. This is one of the best second half teams in the country, Kansas State. So if you're a Wildcat fan, you can hang your hat on that.
Yeah, that is when they have been at their best. They rank second behind Louisiana Tech this season, averaging 23.4 points per game in the second half. So that's kind of when they've been at their best. Of course, Oregon has been at their best in the first half, but they haven't had to play their starters in as many fourth quarters as Kansas State has.
And a lot of those games were blowouts by halftime. But good field position here after that first down toss at the 48-yard line. Empty backfield for Collin Klein.
This should have been a pass. I don't know why you have to call timeout there. I mean, that's a waste of a timeout to me for Kansas State.
Timeout on the field.
Lockett in motion to the right side. Just a little toss to Hubert, and he's losing about 3 on this deal.
Well, this is Collin Klein's fault, because typically on this play, when they pitch, he's going to peel back and be responsible for the end man on the line. Collin Klein wasn't quick enough getting his head around, and he didn't cut off the backside pursuit. That was Lacumbo who made the play from behind.
Again, play clock is winding down. Klein wants to take off. And now he's going to throw across his body. Incomplete, intended for Harper. And Ekere Olomu over there to make the play. And again, the cat and mouse game being played. And they almost ran out of time on that one, too. Klein fires far side. Kind of a dangerous throw because Ekere Olomu was closing quickly on Tremaine Thompson over on that far sideline. High kick, but short. Braylon Addison's got a call for a fair catch in some traffic and makes a nice catch at the 23-yard line. Ducks in front and coming out for offense for the first time when we come back.
Kansas State could use right here from their defense would be a turnover. Coming into the ball game tonight, tied with Kent State as the leader in the nation in turnover margin at +21.
And -1 tonight on that interception on the final play of the first half thrown by Klein. Loss of a yard. John Sua made the tackle. Kenjon Barner hasn't done much as a runner tonight, but as a receiver he has. Mariota goes downfield. Wow, what a shot. Jared Milo says hello.
And a good clean hit. He didn't lead with his head. He came in with the shoulder. Separated receiver from football. And that's just good hard-nosed football.
Whoa, and Darrell Hawkins felt the impact on that one. And it brings up 3rd down and long.
I would say if you're Kansas State, you better be aware of Lyerla, the tight end. Hurt you right before the end of the first half.
Mariota on 3rd and 11. Blitz coming from the secondary. Has to reload and now trying to run for it. And he got there and then some. Nifty run by the Ducks quarterback. First down. 15 yards on 3rd and 11, Ledge.
Got up hop a little bit at the end of this play, but boy, what a great decision to break a couple tackles here and stay in bounds instead of running out of bounds, getting that extra yardage for the first down.
Now they go to Kenjon Barner, and he weaves inside to the 39. Tonight's been held in check by that front wall of Kansas State. Here's the throw out to the mismatch problem. Lyerla again, first down. Picked up 12 more. This guy had 8 touchdown catches on the year from that tight end spot. So they're not all about just flash and dash with guys in the slot. And now Barner runs the other way, and he's into the secondary. To the 30-yard line. He just popped out the other side.
See, Chip said he needed to call a faster game. They're at a much faster tempo to start the 3rd quarter, and that play Kansas State did not get lined up in their run defense. The quick snap caught them off guard, and they got a big run from Barner.
19 yards for Kenjon Barner. Now they fake it to him, and they throw complete. Josh Huff. And Huff's got it to the 15-yard line.
This is what Baylor did to Kansas State in Waco the game we did. They played at a very fast tempo. Oregon, play for play, is even a little bit faster than Baylor.
Mariota to the end zone. Overshot a wide open Josh Huff.
Boy, he knew it too.
Yeah.
You know, I think he felt like, you know what, I'm holding this ball too long. I better get rid of it. And right as he released, he said, oh, man, he was open.
And he still had some time left. So that at least gives Kansas State a chance to catch its defensive breath for a moment.
Well, who can establish tempo? For 29 minutes, Kansas State did. The last minute of the first half, Oregon did. And right now, they're controlling the tempo.
Second down and 10. Mariota's in trouble. And he got away and throws on the run, but it's too high for DeAnthony Thomas. Mariota again showing his athleticism in the backfield. Third down and 10. Play action. He's in trouble again. And he can run. Coming back the other way. And incomplete. Nice job by the defense and Nigel Malone to break up that play on the sideline. Kick on the way, and it's perfect. Maldonado tacks on 3 more, but still Kansas State with a stop assures that this is a 2-possession game right now with 11 minutes remaining third quarter. Jermaine Thompson, Tyler Lockett, both who averaged over 33 yards a kickoff return back deep. And it's Lockett from the 1. And Lockett behind Jermaine Thompson's blocking across the 35 and out to the 41-yard line. They keep giving Kansas State good field position. Now they got to do something with it. Collin Klein on first down. Down the middle and in and out of the hands of Tannehill. He should have had that one. Klein has only hit 1 of his last 5 passes. On that last one, Tannehill should have caught. And he's hit as he throws. Incomplete. He took a pretty good shot from Eric Armstead just as he was trying to deliver that football.
Well, Oregon is baiting and inviting Kansas State into the game that they want, and that is forcing Collin Klein to throw more than they can run the football. And that time, the guard, Pitts, just got shoved right back into the face of Collin Klein. This is not their comfort zone.
Nope.
To drop back and throw on 3 downs in a possession. But the formations and the personnel of Oregon are forcing them to do it.
That's what they had to do against Baylor in their only loss of this season. Klein hit as he throws again. That one almost made it to Harper, the receiver. And this time, Tony Washington made Collin Klein hit the deck.
See, this is a fast Oregon defense. They're not necessarily big up front, but they're fast and they can rush the passer. And on 3rd and 10, they're not worried about run. And they're not worried about quarterback scramble. All they're worried about is hitting the quarterback. And that time, Washington did it.
They were plus 19 in turnover margin coming in. They have 1 interception tonight. And then 2 big hits on the quarterback on that series. And flag on the fair catch.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team number 21. 15 yards. First down.
Boy, and you don't want to give them 3 yards, especially when they can score so quickly. Let's take you back in our time machine. December 26, 1980, Penn State down 19-10 at the half, but mounted a comeback. The speedy Todd Blackledge from 3 yards out. Penn State wins it 31-19. A couple years later, Fiesta Bowl, first one to be played on New Year's Day. My man is going deep. And Greg Garrity, who backed him and got him out of so many problems in his Penn State career with a touchdown and a 26-10 win over USC. Great moments for my partner, Todd Blackledge. And you love being out here playing those games because you weren't used to warm weather at this time of year.
You know, we'd practice indoors, all bundled up, and we'd come out here, we were in shorts on the grass. It was unbelievable.
Here's Mariota on the run. Great wheels and great speed and all the way down to the 29-yard line.
Nice read. Little zone read by Mariota.
Now they whistle that play dead. Might have had a false start.
False start. Offense. Number 89. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You know, normally the trickle down of what's popular comes from the NFL to college, but the reason that you're seeing more NFL teams go up tempo is because of the duress and the stress it puts on a defense play after play after play. And as good as Kansas State has played, this tempo is starting to get to them a little bit.
And of course, the zone read is RG3 doing it in Washington, Cam Newton doing it in Carolina, Russell Wilson doing it in Seattle. That's got a little bit of a change too, especially with all those young quarterbacks.
You got to be a little bit more careful how much you run your quarterback in the NFL, but the addition of it and the addition of some no-huddle tempo has really caught on.
And here's Barner, and he broke free. I don't think his knee ever touched, and he's inside the 15. Great balance by Kenjon Barner. I think Kansas State thought they had him down.
Sometimes big physical. Well, that looked just like the Michael Dyer run when Auburn beat Oregon for the national championship a couple years ago.
When everybody stopped except Dyer, who ended up being the MVP of that game.
You know, sometimes big physical teams wear you down by just punishing you and hitting you and hitting down because they just keep going fast. They keep going fast.
And your tongue's hanging out.
That's right. Your tongue's hanging out, and all it takes is one missed gap, one missed assignment, one missed tackle, and it's 6 points for the Ducks.
Barner flares out of the backfield. The throw is a wide receiver screen, and DeAnthony Thomas paid the price for that one. Violet Tui let him have it. And it's third down.
These two backs, Barner and Thomas, are not guys who are going to break a lot of tackles, but they do break ankles. I mean, because they can make people miss now in space, but you can knock them on the ground if you catch up to them.
Yeah, you got to catch them first. 3rd and 3. Mariota gives it off to Barner, and he's got it 1st and goal. Needed to get to the 4 or just inside, and they got down to the 3.
Just not seeing the same control of the line of scrimmage by Kansas State as we saw in the first half. That's their bread and butter play, the inside zone run. And that was a clean look for Kenjon Barner to pick up the 1st down.
He actually got it to the 2 where it's 1st and goal. High snap. Mariota handles it, and he's going to cruise to the corner. Touchdown, Oregon. Mariota with his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. And now, unless Kansas State's got an answer pretty soon, this one could get out of hand. And that one's blocked by Boyd. Flips it around, trying to get it in someone's hands to take it the other way. And so no further damage on the blocked extra point, but still 31-10. Well, Marcus Mariota, we told you, had great wheels, had an 86-yard run earlier this year. This one was good for over 30. And then it got him down close. He handled a high snap. Got to the corner. Chip Kelley's offense working right now. 31-10.
On the previous play, we have an unusual ruling. The ball was blocked. Ford carried back into the end zone and declared dead by the defense. That play results in a 1-point safety.
And folks, if you have never seen this before, here's another look at the play. And I'll tell you what I was going to tell you in a second. There's the block. Now retreating back into the end zone and the lateral, and then declared dead. That's a 1-point safety. If you think you've never seen that before, it's the 2nd time it's happened to me. And I'm glad Ron Sherry explained it, because I had it happen against Texas and Texas A&M maybe 10 years ago. And I've kept the ruling in my briefcase this whole time.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a 1-point safety is confirmed. Oregon gets 1 point on the scoreboard.
But after those kickoff returns, it's Kansas State's offense that hasn't been able to do too much with it. This one takes a hop for Thompson at the 11. Jermaine Thompson, and again he got the corner and got out over the 35-yard line before he's blasted out of bounds.
Well, during that last drive, you were talking about how different things can translate to the NFL, and I wanted to confirm for you, I did speak with Oregon's athletic director, Rob Mullins. He has had more than one NFL team contact him and ask for permission to speak to their coach, Chip Kelley. He said he did grant that permission, but he asked the NFL teams to please honor their kids, let them finish out this season. They deserve to have everyone's full attention for this game. He said the NFL teams have been great, and as reported, some of those interviews are possibly set up for tomorrow.
Holly, thanks, from the 38-yard line. First down, Kansas State. They need some offense pretty soon here. This is Pease. He's done a nice job running the ball, but only got about 3. And, you know, Todd, we talked about Chip Kelley and what might happen. There's their offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, and his name has come up if Chip Kelley were to go somewhere. But that's a ways down the line. But I asked you a couple hours ago whether you thought it would have any effect on the kids, and I guess it hasn't.
No, I don't think so. And again, even before Chip became the head coach, when Mike Bellotti was the head coach, that idea of win the day, focus on the task at hand, has been something that Oregon has really adhered to. And I think it's showing tonight.
He's trying to go wide. Defense not going to let him. Kiko Alonso again, and another loss.
Well, we can't say enough about this Oregon defense tonight. You know, in the first half, when their offense was struggling, a couple uncharacteristic 3-and-outs, the defense held strong, particularly in the red zone in that first half. And right now, they've got the game in the position that they want. Kansas State only 11 yards so far in the second half.
And here they are at 3rd and long again. And now they're down to 50% on those 3rd down conversions because some of the earlier ones were short yardage. Collin Klein throws short, Lockett in and out of his hands, and it was Alonso again, the middle linebacker.
Now, these two inside linebackers, Alonso and Clay, are very active. Alonso a little bigger, fast, physical, has a nose for the football, as you see right there. Gets that helmet right on the football and pops it out of Lockett's arms.
So Dorr has to kick again with 6.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Way up in the air. Addison, fair catch, misjudged it a little bit, and then made a nice diving catch.
Teams that lost their head coaches because they did so well this year.
That's right.
Darrell Hazel leaving Kent State to go to Purdue. Gus Malzahn back to Auburn as the head coach.
Kenjon Barner readjusts his route and only got a yard. And now they've got a 32-10 lead. Mariota down the middle and completes. Anthony Thomas again.
A couple runs by Barner have opened up some of the play action things down the middle. It started right at the end of the first half with the tight end, and now they've got more going on here in the 3rd quarter.
Here's Barner. 7 more for Kenjon Barner before Kansas State's defense can track him down.
They had him pretty well bottled up. Things are starting to open up a little bit for him here in the 3rd quarter.
Got 7 more on that carry. 2nd down and 3, play action. Mariota's going to take a shot. And he's got his man, but he dropped it. But there is a flag. In fact, there's 3 of them out there. Josh Huff, had he been able to hold on, would have had a touchdown. And Randall Evans was the guy covering.
Pass interference.
Grabbed him.
Defense, number 15. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Josh Huff is their home run guy. The big play guy, and he ran right by Evans, and Evans grabbed him instinctively to prevent a touchdown.
And he almost caught it anyway.
Yep.
Mariota on a quarterback draw. And again, Kansas State, even when they get to him, they've been unable to force a turnover. Again. Mariota finally throws on the sideline. Would have been a tough throw to try to tuck it in there to Josh Huff. Alan Chapman was covered.
Go for it here regardless of what happens on 3rd.
Barner empties the backfield. Mariota throws short of the first down, I think, to Rashawn Vaughn. That's short by almost a yard. 4th down and 1. Kansas State brings an extra body up to the line and now backs it away. Mariota set back in the shotgun. And he gives it off to Barner, and he spins his way for a couple and a first down. And when he hits those creases, there aren't too many guys that can catch him. Here he goes the other way. And this time, Kansas State, nice job by Arthur Brown. The middle linebacker, loss on the play. Barner met in the hole after a short game. Brown is there, and so is Meshach Williams. The tackle is really set back deep on the right side of the line. Looked like an illegal formation almost. Pass is complete down inside the 25 to Josh Huff.
Now you got to pay attention to the two inside receivers here. You're going to have DeAnthony Thomas, who's right over here on the slot, and you got the tight end Lyerla right there.
4th down at 4. Mariota loads, and now Meshach Williams has got him, and there's the stop. The Wildcats desperately needed. First sack of the
coverage downfield created this opportunity for Meshach Williams. You see the play action. Mariota has nowhere to go with the football, and this time he's not able to get out of the pocket. Everett Benyard, the third, was the tackle, got beat by Meshach. We've seen Mariota be able to get outside quite a bit today. That time, Meshach said, "Nuh-uh."
Pump fakes. Wanted to go long. Now he does go that way over to Harper. And ball out at the end of the play. Guess not. Ruled down. 2nd and 4. Hubert got the first down as he got out to the 39-yard line.
Well, Collin Klein's a great leader, guys, but usually he does it by example. He's not a rah-rah guy over on the sideline. So I believe it means something when before this possession he got over, got in the faces of his offensive linemen, are like, come on, guys, you've got to help us out here. They were great in the first half, but they've taken a step back trying to get this running game going.
That drop line is what's unique. 10 yards rushing is all tonight for Collin Klein. Hubert follows his blockers well, and he's got 12 or 13 yards and another first down, and he's into Duck territory. Last play of the third quarter, barring a penalty. Klein loads, reloads, and now Collin's going to run with it, and made one guy miss, and he got a big gainer down the sideline. Welcome back to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, heading to the fourth quarter. Let's take a look at that run by Collin Klein, courtesy of the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. His best run of the night off play action. Couldn't find anybody to throw to. Tucked it down. And then somebody whiffed right there. Nice move by the big fella to get down the sideline and pick up 16 yards and put Kansas State at the 32-yard line. I think they've got to have touchdowns all the way right now because Oregon's not done scoring themselves, I'm sure. Tyler Lockett in motion toward the ball. It gives to Hubert. Cuts it outside, trying to follow his tight end Tannehill, and he got collared on the sideline after a pickup of 7.
So this drive is critical for Kansas State to not only keep the ball but to score a touchdown so they can maintain balance in their offense.
Hubert cuts back to the middle and got 2. Actually still not down, and now he is. Taylor Hart wasn't going to let him go anywhere.
I think it's going to be a Collin Klein run to the right here.
It will be. And I don't know if he got there, Todd. Really close.
Just depends on the spot. And the movement of Humuli, number 90, I think has caused some problems.
Throw out. Harper makes a nice cut. And another one back to the sideline before a whole flock of ducks finally shows up. He got 9 yards.
He's on the nose right now.
And Nick Pitts.
False start. No 50 on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Hubert's been good on this drive, and he's good again. Looks like he might have another first down. Very seldom anymore do you see 2 measurements on the same series. Both first downs. Bill Snyder, who's resurrected Kansas State's football program twice in his career. Big 12 Coach of the Year. Stadium's got his name on it. There's a road by the stadium with his name on it. He is Manhattan, Kansas to a lot of people, and he's done a wonderful job with this football team again. They were picked 6th in the preseason polls in the Big 12. And here they are, the Big 12 champs. Again, looking over that sideline takes extra seconds that might be precious later. Klein, shovel pass to Hubert. Nice cutback and in, untouched. Touchdown, Kansas State. 10-yarder. Great cut by John Hubert on the run. And that's his first touchdown reception of the year. So Clay is the guy down on the play.
Tyson Coleman right here is the guy who's going to get played by Collin Klein on the shovel pass. He thinks he's going to get the quarterback. Tosses it underneath. Nice job blocking. Keenan Taylor is the guy that was blocking on Michael Clay.
And it's good. So there is hope for Kansas State, but it's still Oregon comfortably in command. Collin Klein, the touchdown pass to John Hubert. And Thomas will have another chance from around the tree. Runs out of real estate on the far side and the 29-yard line.
Marcus Mariota has not had a big number night. He threw for 2 touchdowns, 166 yards passing. He's also run the football effectively, 62 yards and a touchdown. But the thing about it is his poise. He's a redshirt freshman, his first bowl game, and he is kind of had the upper hand. Of course, his offense has a little bit. Collin Klein, pretty good on that last drive, but a rough night for the most part.
Collin Klein finishing his Kansas State career, and he was a Heisman finalist this year. You got to look at Marcus right now with the future he has in front of him, and he might be one of those guys that heads to New York someday. Pickup of a yard for DeAnthony Thomas. Randall Evans made the stop.
That's interesting because a lot of people thought Oregon was going to have some problems this year because they were losing Darren Thomas, who had another year of eligibility, could have come back as a starting quarterback. LaMichael James, their running back, was gone. Chip Kelley said, you know what, we knew what we had with Barner and Mariota, and their backup quarterback, Brian Bennett, is pretty good too.
Here's Barner for 4 more. We're under 11 minutes remaining.
Barner was one of those guys that was kind of always the second fiddle to LaMichael James, but whenever he played and got the ball, he was extremely productive. And this year, in his first year as the feature guy, he has had a monster year.
He had 195 yards or more rushing 4 times this year. That's incredible. Mariota fires behind DeAnthony Thomas.
Big punt.
Jermaine Thompson trying to get his hands on this one. Backpedals, made one guy miss at the 10. Now he's got a little bit of a wall, but a flag's going to fly in.
On the return, we have a block in the back. Number 19 of the return team. Half distance, first down. Timeout on the field.
Collin Klein from his own goal line. Flushed out of the pocket. Throws on the run, completes it out to the 13 to Tyler Lockett. 3 wideouts to Collin Klein's right. But he'll keep it on the ground to Pease. Pease running that way. Got some good blocks from his wideouts. And he got it out around the 28-yard line. 14 yards.
Little change up with Pease. Looked like he was going to bust this all the way outside. And he made a nice quick cut. Planted that right foot, cut inside for the first down. And again, the clock stops as they reset the chains. And you're back ready to snap the football.
And now we got false start again. This time it's Cornelius Lucas.
78 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first
down. You got to go up there, let Collin Klein, your senior quarterback, call more from the line of scrimmage and run your offense.
And here he is trying to run to get back to the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage, and can't get there.
They need Lockett to make a big play for him in the slot. Well, he's a guy that could create a big play opportunity.
Crossing route to Lockett, but only a gain of 3. Harper is up to the top of your screen. And again, way too much time being used. 3rd and 9 for the Wildcats. Klein throws and in and out of the hands of Tremaine Thompson. Broken up tonight for Oregon on the punt returns, and he's got to be sure-handed about this one too. There's the fair catch. He bumped into his own man, and he still made the catch. Tell you what, this guy's got pretty good hands.
Yeah. He caught that one on his back, didn't he?
He did. At this point, you don't want to drop any. And right on his rear end, he makes the grab. 7:38 remaining. Kenjon Barner. Barner again with second effort gets the first down.
You know, regardless of what happens with Chip Kelley, the reality is this is a young, talented football team. You've got 65 freshmen and sophomores on this football team right now, and a lot of your key players are coming back next year for whoever is the head coach of the Oregon Ducks.
Mariota with Barner in the backfield. Gives it off to him again, and Kenjon almost broke that one.
Now, just again, you give him a little crease. He didn't have much room in the first half. He didn't get frustrated. He didn't get discouraged. He just kept staying with it.
And now, because they got a chunk play out of it, they go back to somewhat of a hurry-up offense. High snap. He gets it to Barner anyway, and Kenyon's got another first down. Well, Childs made the stop.
Got two seniors at the guard position, but a sophomore center, a redshirt freshman left tackle, and Tyler Johnstone, and a sophomore right tackle.
Barner with a stiff arm on Brown, of all people.
Would you see him stay in bounds, too? Smart play by Kenjon, trying to keep the clock going, staying in bounds. Again, you know, they didn't change the plays they called. They're just starting to control the line of scrimmage now. They still stick with the same running plays. It's just a different look now for Kenjon Barner because the offensive line has gotten control of the line of scrimmage.
Trying to ice this thing away. Kenjon Barner down near the 6. Barner slips, took himself out of that play.
You know, the one question I would have about Oregon as you look ahead, as Barner leaves and his replacement as the feature back, DeAnthony Thomas, there's about a 20-pound difference in weight.
Yep.
You know, and you see Barner right now running a lot of inside runs, and he's not a guy who's going to run over you, but he's strong enough to run inside. And you know, can DeAnthony Thomas take that same kind of pounding on inside runs?
Marshall might come into play there,
yep,
too, the true freshman who's put up some pretty good numbers despite being the number 3 guy. And again, they'll bring Kenjon down shy of the 5-yard line. Kansas State's going to take its second timeout. They've got 1 remaining and just 2.5 remaining in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Let's take a look at tonight's Good Hands play, brought to you by All States. DeAnthony Thomas not only opened up the game with a 94-yard kickoff return for a score, he took this pass to Mariota, followed his blockers beautifully, and took it in to give them a 15-0 lead on his 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. He sort of set the stage, and then his running mate, Kenjon Barner, has taken over. In fact, he carried all 9 plays of this current drive that set up Maldonado for a 23-yard field goal attempt. Trying to make it 35-17, and Maldonado does.
Another thing I'm impressed with, Brad, I'm impressed with the focus of the Oregon team.
Yeah.
So much rumor speculation about Chip Kelley. Is he even going back with the team tomorrow? Is he going to stay here and interview with some NFL teams? Not just him, not just the players, but the assistant coaches. Because we asked Nick Eliotti, has he said anything to you guys? He hasn't said anything. And those are guys that are more concerned about where they might be and what their future might be, the assistant coaches, than the head coach. You know Chip's going to wind up okay, whatever he does.
Right.
It's the assistants who there's a little bit more uncertainty with, and put together another masterful BCS Bowl performance.
Their 4th straight BCS Bowl. And now they've got a 35-17 lead. They came in number 4. Now, depending on what goes on Monday night, they could finish as high as 2nd in the country in the final standings, depending on if Alabama was to beat Notre Dame. But if Notre Dame made it a 2-point game or something, that might still be number 1 and number 2. But Oregon still has a case because the only game they haven't lost in regulation this year. And AJ had another wonderful year for the Tide. Collin Klein getting set to end his career at Kansas State, and it's going to end with an interception. Eric Dargan bringing it back the other way, and finally run out of bounds.
Well, both interceptions for Collin Klein, kind of in desperation mode right at the end of the first half, and desperately needing a big play down the field. Double coverage, nicely played by the safety coming to help Dargan. And the last Kansas State drive probably snuffed out in one play.
It has taken an effect, and I mean they came in full force to back this team in this Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. There's a lot of purple in this building, but a lot of it is filed out.
Has proven that they're a little bit better. This is a team that was, you know, a missed field goal in overtime, potentially away from playing for a national championship.
Yep.
Watch basketball.
That's what I'm talking about.
Basketball.
Another knee, and that's about going to do it. Now the Oregon Ducks proved that they are indeed worthy of their ranking. Chip Kelley getting hugged by his players on the sideline. They're wondering right now, I'm sure, if they'll get a chance to hug him again next year. And the final score is 35-17. Two really good coaches. And much different philosophies and approaches, probably. One's old school and one couldn't be any more new wave. But a heck of a football game. And I know a lot of respect between those two guys. But another BCS win for Chip Kelley. He's with Holyrood.
Well, Coach, the tempo of this game really started to change, and your success started to change when you picked up the tempo. How did you have that happen so effectively?
Just had to get the ball back. I thought they did a real nice job in the first half of extending drives and keeping us off the field. But, you know, when our guys responded, I think got a little spark at the end of the first half. And then, you know, our guys in the locker room, I told me, hey, I got to do a better job calling plays in the first half is what it's all about.
You guys did a great job on Collin Klein. He'd been so effective rushing the ball. What was your plan that kept him in check?
No, it wasn't really complicated. It was just trying to get a lot of guys to the ball and tackle him. You know, he's a great player, one of the greats of college football. And you know, there's a couple who went down my sideline, and it was, you know, I had my heart in my throat a couple times watching him run around. But our guys just made plays when they had to make plays.
Your freshman quarterback's named the MVP. How do you feel about that?
Cool. Love the kid.
You should. And, Coach, you wanted to win today before you turned your attention elsewhere. I talked to your athletic director. He said he has given some NFL teams permission to speak to you. So when will you speak to teams, and will you?
I have no idea. I'll ask Rob. Again, I told my agent's the best. I told him I wasn't talking to anybody until after this game was over. Our focus was solely on this football game. If for some reason some teams want to talk to me, it's because of those players over there. We got an unbelievable team and an unbelievable program, and any success we have is because of those guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, Hon.
So the future for Chip Kelley in question, but no doubt about his team's performance again tonight. They go to 12-1, and they win another BCS game here. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Our congratulations. The Ducks win it 35-17, and back to Holly.
Well, Kenjon, right before the half, you guys scored on that quick drive, and I saw you go over to Coach and say something. Did you guys tell him you wanted to keep going fast because it was working so well?
You know, we figured out what could work against them. You know, they're a very physical defense. They brought their A game. What we've seen once we initiated that tempo, that kind of tired them down. We were able to get the ball moving and execute Oregon football. So when I went to him, I just told him, Coach, let's keep running this tempo.
You guys really were able to take back the line of scrimmage in the second half. How were you able to do that?
Just executing. You know, we have to get back to the drawing board. You know, recognizing mistakes we were making and seeing what they were doing and take advantage of what we could take advantage of.
You're a senior. You haven't had all the attention maybe you deserved over the years, but what's it like for you to go out with a BCS Bowl win, Kenjon?
Oh, man, it's amazing. You know, just to go out like this with a W in the Fiesta Bowl with my teammates and this coaching staff, you know, I couldn't be happier.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Kenjon said it best. We had to execute Oregon football, and they did in the second half. And they win the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl going away 35-17. It started with a bang. It ends with a trophy. And the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl champion Oregon Ducks on the field, and down there with Reese Davis for the trophy presentation. Reese.
All right, Brad. Fast, hard, finish. That's what they say at Oregon, and the Ducks have certainly finished again, huh? For the second straight year, the Oregon Ducks win a BCS Bowl game. Spectacular performance tonight against a very deserving and very well-coached Kansas State team in a terrific game here in Glendale tonight. Joining me to present the awards are Frito-Lay Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, Miss Ann McCurgy. Also, Tony Matta, the Tostitos Vice President, and the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl Chairman, Mr. Steve Whiteman. Steve, why don't you hand out the first little piece of hardware?
Okay. On behalf of Tostitos, the best sponsor in college sports, it's a real honor for me to present this 42nd annual Tostitos Fiesta Bowl game trophy to Chip Kelley and the Oregon Ducks.
Michael Klein showing it to everybody. Chip, as you look at this game, Kansas State had their tempo going. Late in the first half, you turned it. What changed after the late drive right at the end of the first half?
The play caller wasn't as stubborn as he was in the first half, so we got some great players. Our players won the game for us. Can't say enough about our defense, but I'd like to congratulate K-State. That's an outstanding football team, and it was a real honor for us to get an opportunity to compete against them. Bill Schneider is what college football is all about, just one class guy, and it was a heck of a game by two teams. We were fortunate to come out on top.
Your team was so close to playing for a national championship, and leading up to this game, people wondered about the motivation, and they came out and played with great spirit and energy. What does that say to you about your team?
You know, we lost to a real good Stanford team. David Shaw's done a great job, but our guys know that you got to come back. Sometimes the ball's not going to bounce your way, and it did in that game, but we came out the next week, got ourselves to a fourth BCS game, and these guys understand what it's all about, and it was about finishing, and it's about sending these seniors like Michael Clay and Deion Jordan, Kiko Alonso, Kenjon Barner out the right way, and that's what these guys did.
A great senior class has won 46 games over the last 4 years. Chip, congratulations. Great win tonight.
Thanks, Reese.
And why don't we give some hardware to the players? Chip already tried to give one trophy to Michael. We might have to have another one. How about a couple of player presentations?
You got it. Well, first of all, on behalf of Tostitos and the entire Frito-Lay and PepsiCo family, Coach Kelley, Oregon Ducks, congratulations. Yeah. Now, your offensive player, none other than Marcus Mariota.
Marcus, redshirt freshman, first year as the starting quarterback. During the offseason, there was a buzz about you, about the way you'd played in the spring. What does this mean to you to wrap up your first year as a starter with the MVP trophy and a BCS game?
Oh, it definitely means the world. I mean, to go out with these guys, put the seniors off on the right note, I think that was probably what, we came out here to do, and I'm glad we were able to do that.
What changed for you guys offensively late in the first half and into the second half?
Just tempo. I think being able to use our own tempo and being able to play at our pace, I think really helped us.
You put up some big numbers as a freshman. How do you top this next year?
Just going back and going to work. Coming out with these guys and making sure that we're all going on the right place.
Mark, it's been a pleasure to watch you. Congratulations. Great season, great performance tonight. Marcus Mariota, the offensive MVP of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Defense was pretty good too, Ann.
Pretty awesome if you ask me. And your defensive player is none other than, come on, Michael Klein!
Michael, Ann's playing to the crowd here. She's got it going on, huh? Collin Klein is a tough guy to defend. What was the key to keeping him bottled up tonight, keeping him from converting so many of those third downs?
Our disguises. Our defense had a great week of practice. We were all on P's and Q's. We were running the ball, and we were making sure tackles. So Colin's a great quarterback, but we just had a tremendous job of filling the holes and tackling.
How would you describe what you've accomplished during your terrific career at Oregon and what it means to you?
I mean, it means the world to me, from my family to my friends to my second family, the entire team from 2009 to now. It's just a humbling and blessed experience. And I've got, people that I played for, Keely Emmo and Lauren Clay, may their souls rest in peace, but it's just been an honor to play for 4 years under Coach Kelley.
Michael, congratulations. Great performance tonight, man. Michael Clay. The Oregon Ducks have become a power program in college football, and they prove it tonight with a decisive victory over Kansas State in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, 35-17. Another great performance, Brett.
Final score, Oregon 35-17. As they've done all year, the Ducks were quacking and the Ducks were attacking, and they wanted to get another BCS Bowl win.